Who's Eze? Who is Eberechi Eze? They were really wise words that were used by Thomas Frank, don't you think? I thought they were really clever, really select, really impressive words that Thomas Frank used there. The day that he said, who is Eze, was the day that this was almost inevitable. It was almost inevitable that Eberechi Eze, a borderline world-class talent, a player capable of driving a team to a Premier League title, was going to put in a performance like that. He scored a hat-trick in a North London derby. He scored a hat-trick in his first North London derby. He scored a hat-trick in a North London derby for Arsenal Football Club for the first time since 1978. That is the historic nature and brilliance of Eberechi Eze. And quite frankly, Arsenal were devastatingly good. They deserved everything they got. They were worthy winners. They were fantastic. And quite frankly, Tottenham were abysmal. Tottenham were an embarrassment, and I was disgusted with them. They are a football club who do nothing but bang on about Arsenal. They are a football club who do nothing than compare themselves to Arsenal. They are a football club who, every time you talk to them about their own club, they bring up Arsenal. You talk to Tottenham fans, they want to talk about Arsenal. You talk to Tottenham fans, they want to compare themselves to Arsenal. They live for this game. This is their biggest game of the season. They do nothing but bang on about Arsenal Football Club. And that is the performance that they put in against them. That is the performance that they turn in against their nearest and dearest. That is the performance that they turn in against their biggest rival. What a disgrace of a performance. What a disgrace of a football club. And what poor management from Thomas Frank. I think he got it desperately wrong. It really, really was terrible from him. I've just seen the first super chat of the day has landed, and it is from the Prince Brandon, and he says, no Gabby, no problem, eh, Rory? And you are absolutely right. Earlier today, we were speaking about the issues that Arsenal could have today. And Arsenal needed to overcome a very particular criticism. They needed to overcome a very particular problem. And the way that you win the league is by a manager overcoming all of these little problems one by one, making a statement one by one. It's all very well beating Tottenham. You know, the headline is beating Tottenham 4-1. And that is undoubtedly the war that was won today. But the little battles that were won, they involve winning games and scoring goals without set pieces, winning games and scoring goals without the use of Gabriel, winning games and nearly keeping a clean sheet without Gabriel in the side. It took a wonder goal to end up in a situation where Arsenal conceded a goal. It actually took a wonder goal to end up in a situation where Arsenal conceded a shot on target. You know, it was pathetic from top. I just cannot believe how poor they were. They got exactly what they deserved out of the game. And do you know what? So did Arsenal. Arsenal got exactly what they deserved. Arsenal went for it. They went for the jugular. They were there to win. They treated it like a derby. You saw that tifo before the game. The Arsenal fans were up for it. They were keen. They were hungry. The Arsenal players were desperate. Declan Rice getting into a bit of a physical altercation. First with Xavi Simons, secondly with Richarlison. Arsenal fancied it. Arsenal were keen. They were hungry, and they recognised the significance of the fixture. Tottenham were pitiful. Tottenham were pathetic. Tottenham were an embarrassment. Tottenham as a football club do nothing but bang on about their hostility to Arsenal, and they do nothing but roll over for them twice a season. Tottenham have won once at Arsenal, once since 1993. You're not rivals. You're not rivals in the true sense of the word. You're geographical rivals. You're rivals like Chelsea and Fulham are rivals. You're not rivals. Rivals. Chelsea and Arsenal are far bigger rivals. Arsenal and Man United are far bigger rivals. Arsenal and Liverpool are far bigger rivals. Arsenal and Man City are far bigger rivals. You're not rivals. Rivals suggest that you can somehow compete with one another for silverware. You just happen to have stadiums near each other. And I understand why Tottenham are vexed about that. What Arsenal did 100 years ago is poor. But it was 100 years ago and it's time to get over it. Because today, they just simply didn't turn up. Arsenal were everything, Tottenham were nothing. And that is a story of their issue. I've got another super chat here. This one is from Charlie Knight, who says, after 3 seasons of so close yet so far, this is finally the season that Arsenal will win the Premier League. Nobody can stop us. Eze masterclass. That's from Charlie Knight. And do you know what's very difficult to argue with? Charlie Knight's sentiment there. I feel like he's bang on. It isn't in the bag yet. There is a chance that it doesn't go your way. There is a chance that you won't necessarily win it. But you are the team to beat. You are the team to be compared to. You are the pace setter. You are the trend setter. You are the best team in the country. You have the best squad in the country. And Mikel Arteta deserves nothing but praise. It's very, very impressive. And Charlie Knight's super chat hits the nail on the head. Sam Topping says, Arteta enhances the intelligence of his players. Arteta's getting it right. Arteta is getting it right. There is no doubt about it. And I think Arsenal deserve so much credit the fans, the club, the ownership, everybody deserves so much credit for persevering with Mikel Arteta when it felt like it could have been easier to sack him. Can I ask you a favour before we go any further? Could you please like the stream? It really does help us out. If we could nudge that to maybe 200 likes, really, really helps us out. Thank you so much. Going back into the chat here, it's Abdullah in the super chat. Abdullah says, back to our chat. I know Tottenham were abysmal, but again, Gabriel is not that big of a miss. Our best defender, yes, but Hincapié can do the job. And we do need Odegaard and Gyökeres maybe more than Gabriel to try and run. Do you know what, Abdullah? You might be correct, but we don't know if you're correct. And do you know why we don't know? Not because the knowledge isn't there. We don't know because Tottenham were pitiful. We don't know because Tottenham were a joke. I would say that Gabriel is the most important. And the reasons I say Gabriel is the most important is because Gabriel is your warrior. Gabriel is your fighter. Gabriel is the man that leads from the front. Gabriel is the physicality. Tottenham didn't put it to the test. So, you're right today. But my point is that when you get into an actual derby, rather than nothing but a geographical derby, like next week, you'll play us. We will fight you. Enzo Fernandez will fight you. Moises Caicedo will fight you. We will make it a physical thing. If Liam Delap is on the pitch, he will fight you. João Pedro will fight you. Reece James will fight you. Arsenal are capable of winning the fights, don't get me wrong. But I think in a true derby, rather than this imaginary derby that you have with Tottenham, this imaginary rivalry, how can you possibly call yourself rivals when that's the end result? You're geographical rivals. It's Chelsea and Fulham. Tottenham Hotspur bang on about Arsenal all the time. They bang on about Arsenal. Arsenal this, Arsenal that, Arsenal this, Arsenal that. And then they put in the most pitiful performance. Like an embarrassing performance. Like I just can't believe what we saw today. Arsenal got everything that they deserved out of that game. They were hungry. They were cavalier. They were on the front foot. They asked all the questions. They were trying to silence the doubters off the back of what Dan Bollard did. Silence the doubters off the back of an international break. Going into a very difficult game. They watched their biggest rivals lose yesterday. And they were like, right, watch this. This is happening now. And I'll tell you what, they were basically perfect. I want to get your opinions, right? I want to get your opinions. That's why I love going live like this, because you can educate me as well, right? Can you do me a favour? Just put yes or no in the chat if you think Arsenal will win the league. Just yes, they will. No, they won't. Yes or no. That's all I ask you to do. I just want to see how this floods in. I just want to see what sort of percentage we're looking at in terms of people saying that Arsenal will win the league or won't. Because I am just embarrassed for Tottenham. I'm embarrassed for Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank coming out. Who's Eze? And then he scores a hat-trick. Isn't that the most Spursy thing? You know, if you think of what the ideology of Spursyism means. Thomas Frank going, who's Eze? And then Eze scoring a hat-trick. I mean, I know Thomas Frank was joking, but I can't think of a joke that has come back to haunt somebody as quickly as that. And I'm looking at the yeses and nos coming in, and it is almost universally yes. I can see a treble yes there from Alfie. I can see yes, Ben. Yes from Lucas. Yes from Vivid84. Yes from Mohammed Yusuf. Yes from 793 Rich. Yes from Real Hop 823. Yes from Ryan EP8. Yes. Everybody, yes. Unilaterally, yes. Completely, yes. Henry, Ralph, yes. Reese, yes. David Robinson, yes. Carl DeQuoy, yes. Wayne Hink, yes. It's yes from Ethiopia, says the Real Hop. Trying to stay grounded, says Ben, but presumably yes. Yeah, it's literally non-stop yeses. David Robinson again, yes. Guna Kev, Rory, Tottenham are as much of a rival to us as Barnet. Do you know what I mean? I've just seen a couple of no's. A couple. Luke says no. Samuel says no. But that was 99% yes. Defo, Prince Brandon. It is just completely and utterly dominant in terms of yes. And it's true. It's true. They are going to win the league. Like they are going to win the league. They are the front runner. Unless Pep Guardiola can do something truly outrageously brilliant, like almost magical, then it's in the bag. The only thing I would say is Tottenham was so bad. Arsenal were good. I'm not taking anything away. Arsenal were the only team in the game. Arsenal were the only team that turned up. Arsenal were the only team that wanted a victory. I'm embarrassed by Tottenham. I'm embarrassed for Tottenham. Like, they got exactly what they deserved out of the game, which was nothing. They went there with no ambition and they got slapped up. Arsenal went there with prestige and they embarrassed them. That is the difference. There is only one thing that I would say is I don't think we've learned anything. You know, when we spoke about Arsenal earlier today, right? We spoke about Arsenal earlier today, and we said what Arsenal were capable of. I don't think we've learned anything because they played such an inept team. I just don't think that we learned anything because Arsenal were just simply so bad. The super chat is in here from Reese K. Says, Rodgers, Palmer, Eze, Bellingham, England's number 10 battle. I mean, it's fascinating, isn't it? It's fascinating. But if Eze's scoring hat-tricks against Tottenham to win Arsenal the league, I mean, there is no way that Eze won't be in the side. Maybe he has to play wide, but Eze will be in the side, no doubt. Abdullah says, back to our chat. I know Spurs were abysmal. I know we've spoken. Charlie Knight, Arsenal, Bayern, two of the best teams in the world at the moment, going head-to-head in the Champions League. That is very true. I mean, that is very true. They are two excellent teams, two serious clubs. And those two going head-to-head is going to be a massive, massive match. The only issue with it is, it doesn't really matter. Like, there's no major jeopardy on it. There's far more jeopardy in Arsenal versus Chelsea than there is Arsenal versus Bayern. Like, Arsenal can lose to Bayern and still progress. Bayern can lose to Arsenal and still progress. The focus needs to just be on Eberechi Eze. And do you know what he did today, Eze? Not only did he show Arsenal what they got, but he showed Tottenham what they're missing. And do you know what? I've been saying this for ages. You know when I say Chelsea aren't trying to win the league? It's because of players like Eberechi Eze that prove we're not trying to win the league. When we sold Noni Madueke to Arsenal, if we really wanted to win the league, what we do is we take the money from Madueke and we go and we buy Eberechi Eze. If you want to win the league, you buy Eze. If you don't want to win the league, you buy Jamie Gittins. If you don't want to win the league, you buy Xavi Simons. If you want to win the league, you buy Eberechi Eze. Eberechi Eze, a masterful footballer, one of my favourite footballers to watch when he was at Palace. The way he would glide with the ball, the way he would drop his shoulder, the way he would beat a man, the way he took Crystal Palace by the scruff of the neck and dragged them to their first ever trophy. The way he did the business for England whenever he was called upon in Germany. Eberechi Eze was so obviously ready to do something like that. He just needed the opportunity. And who signed him? Arsenal. Like, it's just so poor from everybody else involved because he was there. And what we saw him do today, it was amazing because it's through him, and Leandro Trossard deserves a lot of credit for that opener as well, by the way. But it's through Eze's brilliance that Arsenal are now 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League. And more significantly than being 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League, that isn't necessarily what we should focus on. What's far more important than being 6 points clear of Chelsea is how clear they are of Manchester City, which is 8. 8 points clear of Manchester City. That, to me, feels brilliant. And it's getting to the stage now where when you're looking at this Arsenal team and you're seeing the substitutions that they make and you're seeing the strength in depth and you're seeing the amazing squad that has been assembled by Mikel Arteta, you now have to ask a question, genuinely. I don't know what the answer is. When Martin Odegaard is fully fit and Eberechi Eze is fully fit, who starts? Do me a favour, let me have a look at this chat again. Just write Eze or Odegaard. Who starts if both are fully fit? Because I don't believe that there is room in the team for both of them. I don't think that you should be playing players out of position. I don't think that Eberechi Eze should be playing wide to accommodate someone else. So let me know, is it Eze? Is it Eze or is it Eze or is it Odegaard? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back into the super chat. I'm seeing a lot of Eze starting, by the way. It looks like Eze's winning. I've seen a shout for both. I've seen a lot of shouts for Eze though. I think Eze's winning this at the moment. Although Odegaard's levelling up a bit. I'm just going to go back into the super chats here. Sorry, I think I've missed one. Prince Brandon says, Mikel Merino was playing everywhere today, totally underrated. Absolutely, he really was. Really was brilliant. I mean, Arsenal were brilliant altogether, weren't they? And Jack Herbst says, we got Rice at half price. Don't worry, your smacking is coming like it's before 2003 when you were founded. That is good banter. 4-1 on your dusty pre-season tour. I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about that. The only 4-1 that really matters is the 4-1 that you took in Baku when Iwobi scored a consolation. Like, that's when things really matter. We play each other in the European final. You want to talk about 4-1s? I would say that is the 4-1 that we should focus on, dear friend. But I must admit, I am very, very nervous about this. Also, Callum Murphy, successful hate watch against Liverpool and City. Eze hat-trick against our rivals who wanted him. 6 points clear at the top. Life is hard as a gunner. Painfully, you just can't argue with it, can you? Painfully, it is completely and utterly correct. Arsenal had a brilliant weekend no matter what happened today. They had already, on some level, won the weekend because of the inability of Manchester City to find a winner at St James's Park and the inability of Liverpool to find a winner against Nottingham Forest. And then they beat their biggest rival. They beat their biggest rival in the most glorious circumstances. And almost to rub salt into the wounds, if you were to ask an Arsenal fan, who would you like to score a hat-trick today? If you could choose anyone to score a hat-trick, what makes this hat-trick more brilliant than any other hat-trick? I think an Arsenal fan, certainly if you're an Arsenal fan who thinks like me, I would always think through the lens of spite against my rivals. So it wouldn't necessarily be what player I love the most. It would be what player do I love the most that they hate the most? Who would they hate to see score a hat-trick? Eberechi Eze. Not a bad weekend at all for Arsenal Football Club. And this could be the weekend that we look back upon. This could be the weekend that we look back upon where Arsenal have won the league. Over the years, you can always remember it, can't you? You can always remember this is when Arsenal won the league. This is when Chelsea won the league. You can think of those fixtures. You can also think of the fixtures when teams lost the league. You can remember, if you're an Arsenal fan, you'll remember Harry Kewell scoring against you. You can remember when you didn't win in Europe, John Carew scoring against you. You can remember those moments that cost you a league title. You can remember Unai Emery's Aston Villa, right? I think this could be the one where Liverpool, well, Man City fans go, the defeat at St James's Park is what cost us the league. And I think Arsenal fans will go, when we beat Tottenham 4-1, we just knew that it was going to happen. When we beat Tottenham 4-1, that was the moment that you just knew that it was going to happen. Stu Getty in the Super Chat says, as a QBR fan, I always knew that Eberechi Eze was the guy. Fully announced himself today. He's genuinely a title-challenging signing. Big part to play this summer. Eberechi Eze, it's undeniable that he was always destined for the top. It's undeniable that he was always destined for greatness. And the only reason I find it so difficult to talk about it is watching Eberechi Eze in full flow when he was carrying the ball, gliding for Crystal Palace. You heard that Oliver Glasner quote when he speaks about Eberechi Eze. He basically said, this is a Glasner quote. You think about how brilliant Oliver Glasner is. Oliver Glasner, when talking about Eberechi Eze, he basically said, if Eberechi Eze has a shot, it's almost definitely a goal. Yeah, 3 shots today. Well, possibly could have scored 4, couldn't he? 4 shots, 3 goals, though. It's a conversion that Erling Haaland would be proud of. He's just so obviously a great player, so obviously going to be the kind of player that shines, and so obviously going to be the kind of player that helps carry a title to Arsenal. Like, it's almost inevitable, isn't it? It's almost inevitable. Like, whether Eberechi Eze wins the league this year, he will, by the way, but let's just pretend he doesn't. Let's say that all of the criticism about Arsenal comes true. They capitulate in February. Let's just pretend that happens. They capitulate in April. Even if that happens, there is an inevitability that Arsenal will win the league next year. And if not the next year, the next year. Like, this Arsenal team, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal team, will win a league. There is an inevitability to it. And that is the true brilliance of a football team. You know when you just know? Like, I tell you what, I went to Moscow in 2008. I was in Moscow and I watched Cristiano Ronaldo miss a penalty. I thought him missing the penalty was going to be the moment that we won it. I watched John Terry miss. I saw Frank Lampard score. I saw Ronaldo score. I saw Anelka's penalty saved by Edwin van der Sar, and that was that. Do you know the one bit of comfort that I had from losing that final? I just knew that it was coming. Whether it happened the following season, it didn't. We were robbed by Tom Overbo against Barcelona. Whether it happened the following season, it didn't. We were well beaten by Mourinho's Inter Milan. Whether it happened the following season, it didn't. We were well beaten by Ryan Giggs and Manchester United. Whether it happened the following season, it did. See that? It did. It did. It came. It inevitably came. We lost in Moscow. We won in Munich 4 years later. On some level, Mikel Arteta has lost the title 3 years in a row, and he's won it this year. And even if he doesn't win it this year, he'll win it next year. Because this team, they have something about them. They have a genuine belief, a genuine ability, and they are clearly moving in the right direction. And do you know what else they have? They have every attribute. You know, if you take this away from Arsenal, let's just explore. What do you need to win a league? Like, what do you think the ingredients are? If you do it really, really basic. If I was talking to my wife or my mum, people like, they don't understand football at all. They've got no interest. If I went, right, I'll tell you how you win a league title. You need a really good goalkeeper. You need solid defences. Defences win leagues. You need a little bit of world-class talent dropped in the team. And you need goals. That's basically how you win a league title, isn't it? Right? Yeah, that's how you win a league title. And that's exactly what Arsenal have. And now they have the experience of not winning a league title. Having the experience of not winning a league title is also so big. And they are just making statement after statement after statement. Today, it's kind of a historic result for Arsenal. To do it in the way that they did, I don't mean historic in terms of Eberechi Eze scoring the first hat-trick for Arsenal in this fixture since 1978. I mean more in terms of what it sets. Eberechi Eze scoring a hat-trick, yeah, it's great. But the statement that's made today will go down in history. The statement that Chelsea made at Ewood Park in February of 2005 went down in history. That was the day that we won the league. This is the weekend that we will look back on Eberechi Eze winning the league for Arsenal. It's now. And I tell you what, they just got it so right. Throughout the game, they got exactly what they deserved, Tottenham and Arsenal. They both got exactly what they deserve. Isn't it rare that you can talk about football when a game finishes 4-1 and everybody gets everything that they deserve? Tottenham deserve to get beat. They deserve to get slapped. They deserve to get embarrassed because their game plan was a joke. Arsenal were the exact opposite of that. And I tell you what, right? Tottenham and Arsenal are not rivals. Tottenham and Arsenal are not traditional rivals. Rivals means that you rival one another. You compete with one another. You beat occasionally one another. Tottenham are 11 points behind Arsenal. They don't play the same sport. Tottenham today were pathetic. And as a club and a support base, they bang on about Arsenal every day of the week. We've all got a Tottenham fan, haven't we? Got a Tottenham fan in your life. I've got Flav. Drive me mad. Chipping away. Always banging on about Arsenal. Always got something to say about Arsenal. Arsenal this, Arsenal that. We were the first North London club. Isn't it a disgrace that Arsenal sing North London forever? Eberechi Eze, they took him out of our shopping basket. That's out of order. I tell you what, Eberechi Eze's made a mistake not coming to us. I'm not even sure he gets in the team. They always talk about Arsenal. And twice a season, they roll over for them. Twice a season, they roll onto their back and they get their tummy tickled by the team that are supposed to be their biggest rivals. And it's amazing, isn't it? Because it doesn't really matter who the manager is. It doesn't really matter what goes on. You know, you can have Mr. Tottenham himself, Glenn Hoddle, as the manager of Tottenham. What happens when they go to Highbury? They get battered. You can have Mr. Chelsea, Mourinho, when they go to the Emirates. What happens? They get battered. You can have, Harry Redknapp, a pragmatic manager, a manager capable of digging out a result. They get a 4-4 draw and they consider it a victory. I suppose that tells a story, doesn't it? The way that they celebrate the 4-4 and the way that Arsenal are sickened by the 4-4 actually demonstrates the difference and the gulf in class. It was just men against boys. They don't really play the same sport. And I guarantee you this, Arsenal are the best team in the country. But next week, we will fight them. They might beat us. They probably will beat us. They are the best team in the country. But we will make a fist of it. We will give them hell. It will be loud and passionate at Stamford Bridge. Enzo Fernandez will be fighting. Moises Caicedo will be fighting. And they will not score 4 goals. I guarantee you that. I'll tell you what. I got a lot of admiration for this Arsenal tifo that I'm looking at. These streets of our own. Oh, it's a shame they took a line from that song. I can't say I'm a big fan of that song, but big tifo there. But I tell you what, the magic man Eberechi Eze, it was just ridiculous, wasn't it? He just simply was so good. And Tottenham's disappointment in derbies is just a joke. Like, they didn't turn up today. They just didn't turn up. Like, you think about how bad Tottenham were against us and how bad they were against Arsenal. Like, what sort of club is this? What sort of club is this when they're meant to be, like, massive rivals? I just don't understand it. And I'll tell you what, I've just seen a quote here. Jamie Carragher reckons that Eberechi Eze can win the title for Arsenal. It's exactly what I've been saying, isn't it? Eberechi Eze is the kind of signing that you make when you win a league title. He really is. And again, do you know what we saw from Arsenal today? The depth. We saw the demonstration of their depth, their quality. They're just different. You know, they lose Gabriel, they lose their primary playmaker in Odegaard, and they lose both their centre forwards. It's getting to the stage now where you just think everything that Mikel Arteta is doing, he's getting it right. He is making every decision correct. Like, the signings, he brought in exactly what they need. They needed a battering ram centre forward. They got one. They needed an answer for when Odegaard's creativity either stops or he's injured. and they bring one in. And the signing of Eberechi Eze. Do you know what? Here, do a yes/no for me in the chat here. Is Eberechi Eze the signing of the summer? You know, people want to talk about the best signings of the summer. Jack Grealish gets a lot of love. Brian Mbermo gets a lot of love. Nick Voltemada gets a lot of love. But is the signing of the summer Eberechi Eze? I mean, Granit Xhaka, if Sunderland stay up, you could make a case for that. But just answer yes or no. Do you believe that Eberechi Eze is the signing of the summer? I want to see what everybody's saying here. Yes, I've seen Colin Hargrave says no. Okay, Colin Hargrave says no. Gabriel Coyne says yes. David Robinson says yes. Prince Brandon, interestingly, says no. I'm surprised by that. No, this is more balanced. Ryan Edit says Xhaka. Zubamendi says Daryl. So Daryl thinks it's an Arsenal. It is an Arsenal player, but not necessarily the same one that I think. It's acknowledged that it's close. Has to be Wirtz, of course, Florian Wirtz. Yeah. Zubamendi. Lots of Arsenal. I've seen a lot of love for Zubamendi here. I'm interested there. I'm surprised. Because I think that Eberechi Eze's performance there, going into a team that were nearly champions and actually changing them to champions, it could be the biggest contribution, couldn't it? It could actually be the biggest contribution to any team. You know, Brian Mbermo's done very well, but he's not going to elevate Manchester United beyond recognition. Arsenal haven't won a title for 22 years. If Eberechi Eze lands at that club and they win the league in his first season, and he is the architect of it, he is at the epicenter of it, he is scoring hat-tricks against Tottenham. I mean, I think on some level it could well be. Well be. We're going to go back into the super chat here, and it's from Prince Brandon, who says... it's from Ben Woolley, who says, "Love the content, Rory. I appreciate how even as a Chelsea fan, you can be unbiased and appreciate this Arsenal team." I wouldn't say I'm unbiased. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Ben Woolley. I'm desperately sick with Tottenham. Gutted with Tottenham. They are stupid idiots, and I will never forgive them for this. And the reason that I am so disappointed and sick with Tottenham is because I am very unbiased. I desperately do not want Arsenal to win the league. Do you know what? It's getting to the stage now, if I'm completely honest with you, and I don't even like admitting this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Sometimes talking about football can be like therapy, right? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you something that I don't think I've ever said out loud ever before in my life. When I check the football results, I check almost equally have Chelsea won or have Arsenal lost. That is how affected I am by it. My priorities are Chelsea winning and Arsenal losing in equal measure. I support Chelsea and whoever Arsenal are playing. That is how I see football now. And it's so pathetic. And it is because my own team are letting me down. It is because the way that my own club are being run by the ownership is so not in keeping with the way that I see football. But my priority, and you've been very kind to me there, Ben. You've said that I'm unbiased. I'm not, openly not. I am. Have you ever checked football results and you're checking for your rivals as much as you're checking for your own team? I delight in Chelsea winning as much as I will delight when Arsenal drop points. I'm not a proud man, but I am an honest one. That is honestly how I feel about the situation. If that chimes with you at all, if that resonates with you, if you can make any sense of that, like the stream. I just want to see if anyone gets it. Does anyone check their rivals' results as passionately as they check their own team's results? Does anyone else buzz off their own team winning as they do their rivals losing? 401 likes. I'm going to remember 401. Let me see if anyone else is affected by that. I'm going back into the super chat now, and I'm going to see what Mimbo23 has to say. We'll win the league like Liverpool in 2020. It's not the same City. No Kevin De Bruyne. Not able to have those runs. Gabriel, not the most important. It's Zubamendi. We have no replacement for him. Interesting from Mimbo. I would argue, by the way, that Manchester City aren't the force they were. They aren't the Kevin De Bruyne treble-winning team. I completely agree. They aren't even the team that did the Centurions or the domestic treble. They aren't as good as that. But this City team are capable, when the season starts according to Guardiola, which is January, they are capable of winning, 8 out of 10? They are capable of going on a serious run. And if they do that, then maybe there is something in it. I've just seen a super chat come in from Avle who says, you only do that if you think you're in a title race. No. When Chelsea were finishing 10th, I was worried that Arsenal were going to win the league. When our games no longer mattered. Do you know what? When I thought Tottenham were going to win the league, I was checking Tottenham results before I was even checking Chelsea results. We were 10th. Do you know what I remember saying? We had to play at the end of the season. We played Tottenham 3 games before the end of the season and Leicester last game of the season. Do you know what I remember saying? We have 2 jobs to do this season. 2 jobs. One of them is to beat Tottenham. The other one is to lose to Leicester. I was so preoccupied, and that we weren't in the title race. I was just desperate to make sure Tottenham didn't win the league. We were playing Leicester on the last day of the season. In the end, it didn't matter. In the end, it finished 1-1. It didn't matter. But we were playing Leicester at the end of the season, and I desperately hoped we would lose that game to stop Tottenham winning the league. That is genuinely how I felt at the time. Going to go back into this super chat now, and there is one here from Abdullah who says, Arsenal's only way to win the Premier League is to run away with it. I don't think that's true, Abdullah. I think you're totally capable of winning a title race. I think that you are totally capable of being the best team in a title race. There is no doubt in my mind that you are able to go nip and tuck, and you know the natural sway of a title race, you are capable of winning it. There is no doubt in my mind that you can go toe-to-toe with Man City and win a title race. Can I ask you a massive favour, by the way? If you're watching this and you haven't clicked subscribe, would you please consider clicking? It would be an honour to welcome you into this community. Please subscribe to the channel. Really does help me out, and I'm going to be going live a lot. So please do put the notification bell on and we can have these chats more and more. I love it. I love these conversations. I love what we're building here, and I love having this chat with you. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Going back into the super chat now, and there is one from Prince Brandon who says, he's sitting back, he's sipping his beer, he's watching Man City fold in Newcastle, he's watching Liverpool get lost in the Forest, and Tottenham getting roasted. It is a perfect weekend for Prince Brandon. Enjoy your beer, mate. It's well earned. As weekends go, I can't really think of a weekend even comparable to that for anyone. Like, I can't remember Chelsea ever having a situation like this, where you beat your biggest rival, you not only beat your biggest rival, but the geezer that you nicked off them scores a hat-trick, and both your rivals lose. Amazing. The regrettable Tottenham fan is in the super chat and says, it's been coming, that result. We've been atrocious for months. Fair play to Arsenal. They might actually win something this year. I can't believe how bad you were. Everyone was telling me Tottenham have really good away form. Everyone was telling me, oh no, this is a game. There's definitely a chance that they could do something here. They're an embarrassment. Tottenham Hotspur are a joke. They're an embarrassment. Pitiful, poxy outfit. They let themselves down. They let everyone associated with them down. Thomas Frank, who I rate, by the way, but he had a shocker today. He should hang his head in shame. Every single player on that pitch, the lack of ambition, the lack of desire, the lack of heart, the lack of spirit, the lack of tenacity, the lack of aggression. Poxy club. And as a support, they bang on about Arsenal all the time. And that's what they do. They roll over and they get their tummy tickled by them in the most embarrassing way. You're not rivals. You just happen to share a similar part of the country. Rivals take points off one another. Rivals don't just roll over week after week after week, game after game after game. You've won once there in the league since 1993. You aren't rivals. How can you possibly call yourself rivals? Rivals suggest that you do something to one another. Rivals suggest that you take points off one another. Rivals, when you call people rivals, if you're a Tottenham fan and you think Arsenal are your rivals, you need to get a dictionary, you need to get an OED, and you need to look up the word rival, because you don't know what it means. You're not rivals. You just happen to share a very similar part of the country. That's it. Poxy. It's annoyed me. Do you know what? It's very rare that I ever watch Tottenham. I can't say I wanted Tottenham to win, because I didn't. I never want Tottenham to win. I will always enjoy Tottenham losing. But I quite like the idea of Tottenham. I quite like the idea of Arsenal dropping points today. So once Arsenal scored, the way that they would drop points is I had to kind of begrudgingly hope Tottenham scored a goal. Watching Tottenham through a lens of wanting them to score a goal, which I've very rarely done, if ever, is a disgusting thing. It's disgusting. If you have ever, and you wouldn't have done this, right? But if you have ever watched Tottenham and kind of thought, go on Tottenham, which I never have really, but today I kind of had to. It is the most poxy, unfulfilling experience ever. They are inept. They are woeful. They didn't have anything today. Anything. They didn't even have fight. Like, you know what I thought? I thought Romero, Van der Ven, Bentancur, Paulinho, they're going to fight Arsenal. Arsenal are going to win the game. But do you know what my prediction was before the game? It was 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's what I thought. Because that would have been a very good result for Arsenal, but Tottenham were going to make it hard. Tottenham were going to be resolute. They were going to be steely. They were going to be hateful. They were going to go for it. Instead of that, these idiots, they have allowed a situation where Tottenham have just opened the door, rolled out the red carpet, score 3 goals, why don't you, Eberechi? Score a goal, why don't you, Leandro? It's pathetic. And do you know what? I don't put too much in all that XG nonsense, right? But 0.7, 3 shots against your rivals. Do you see why they're not rivals? You've had 3 shots, 0.7 XG. 3 shots. My God. I'll tell you what, it's going so wrong for them. 1 win in their last 5 games, Tottenham. Like, it's such a shame that the teams last year was so bad that came up, that ultimately went down. Tottenham would have been relegated last year. It's such a shame. They deserve to be relegated off the back of that performance. They deserve to have their manager questioned off the back of that performance. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. They just didn't turn up. Like, how poor do you have to be to just literally not turn up against your biggest rival? I mean, I'm so annoyed. But don't worry, Tottenham, it's now up to us, isn't it? Any Arsenal fans watching this, are you worried? Are you worried about next week? Are you worried about coming to Chelsea? Are you worried about coming to Stamford Bridge? Do you see it as a tricky game? Do you see it as an opportunity for Chelsea to win? Do you see it as a place where you'll drop points? Or do you just generally think that you're going to turn up and win? You're the best team in the country. I imagine that you just think you turn up and win. George Guna in the Super Chat says, still many twists and turns to come. All we got to do is keep putting pressure on the other teams. Hopefully this will be our year. George Guna is a very calm man. Born in 86. Okay, you've seen it all before. I've never seen a Tottenham with... ABLR says, I've never seen a Tottenham team with less talent. Even if you consider the injured ones, not one player you're fearful of. As an Arsenal fan, it's glorious. I know, how didn't they get Eze? They could have had Eze. You're right, though. You know when you're looking at them lining up and you're like, Odebear. Then you're looking on the bench, aren't you? And you're like Brennan Johnson, Kolo Muani. Like, where are the goals coming from? That Odebear pony. Oh dear. Chris Blake, Tottenham fan. We were terrible. Sidebar. How did you get that acting gig on Harry and Paul? Saw you randomly on there and it caught me out. Yeah, mate, God, that was a lot. I used to be an actor years ago. Although, Chris, I appreciate the super chat. I'm a bit busy here, mate. I'm trying to rationalise a world where Arsenal are about to win the league. And you're talking to me about Harry Enfield and Paul Whitehouse. Mate, I'm spinning a few plates, mate. I'm a little bit busy. But no, I did do it. I used to be an actor years ago. Mate, 20 years ago, so I used to be an actor. And it was just a job I got. But I'm a bit busy here, mate. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate it immensely. I really do. But I'm just so shocked. I really am. I am just so shocked at how poor Arsenal are. And Tottenham were. And the fact that they've done it without their main man at the back. The fact that they've done it without their major centre forward. The fact that they've done it. I mean, they've got so many injuries and they've managed to just pull a result out the bag like that. It really is so annoying. But the day belongs to Eberechi Eze. Arsenal fans, you must be over the moon. And not only are you over the moon because of how good you are, you've got to be over the moon at how bad Tottenham were. Like, I can't believe how bad they were. I thought they were going to be all right this year. I rate Frank. They're abysmal. And the way that they were against us when they didn't turn up, and the way they were against Arsenal when they didn't turn up, it's got me worried for it. Not worried for them. Not worried in the true sense of the word. But, you know, like last year, I honestly thought they were going to be relegated. It's just that the 3 teams that went down was so bad. This year, like, where are they going to finish? Like, I'm not even joking. I honestly think that Tottenham could end up finishing like 12th this year. 12th, 15th. That kind of performance was just so bad. They have the second worst home record in the league. And their away record is going to start hitting the fan as well fairly soon. Where do you think? Comment. Let me see. Where? Just comment the position that you believe Tottenham are going to finish in the league. Like, I honestly believe that Tottenham are going to finish 12th. I honestly believe that they are going to finish 12th in the league. Where do you see them finishing? I just can't believe it. I really can't. I've got them 12th. Let me see where everybody else has got them. Right, you've got AJ says they're going to finish 15th. Lol. Laguna Duds says 9th. Parker Lee says 10th. 7th. That's quite high, Colin. Feels very high, that. Prince Brandon says 10th. George Guna says, is Tottenham still considered in the top 6? Yeah, they are. They're considered that. 17th says Parker Lee. 14th, 13th, 8th. A lot of people have got them higher than me. I don't finish. If you're putting Tottenham top half of the league, I think you're wrong. Look at what we've just seen from them. Look at the lack of heart, the lack of fight, the lack of spirit, the lack of guile, the lack of tenacity. They're not going to finish. They're just not going to finish in the top half of the league. 10th. I've seen Ghost Gamer there, 17th. I hope you're right. I don't think you are, but I hope you're right. Below the majority of London clubs. Imagine if they finished bottom London club. That'd be great, wouldn't it? QPR once finished top London club, you know. 6th, I think they finished. 10th says Dylan Walsh. 8th. Oh, dear, oh dear. It's just so upsetting. So upsetting for so many reasons. And I am sick to the back teeth of Tottenham. My hamsters are sore anyway, right? My hamsters are very sore at the moment. And they just feel even worse because of that, what we've just witnessed there. Really, really poor. Can I ask you all, by the way, do me a favour? Will you just like the stream? We might nudge it to over 600, which is quite a lot of likes. If anyone is watching this, can we nudge that to over 600? Yeah, what a terrible day. But ultimately, the day belongs to Eberechi Eze. What a man, what a player, what a genius, what a day for him. A terrible weekend for Tottenham Hotspur. A terrible weekend for Pep Guardiola. A terrible weekend for Arne Slot. Mikel Arteta, go home. Pour out a nice glass of Glenmorangie. Light yourself up a Monte Cristo. And celebrate because it belongs to you. Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. Before you go, please click subscribe. It really would mean a lot to me if you would join this community. Go on, click subscribe before you go. I'm going to be going live tomorrow as well, so make sure that you're around for that. Tomorrow night we'll be going live for a real in-depth post-mortem on what we've seen over the weekend. Make sure that you're around for that, so click subscribe, put the bell on, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Ta-da.